Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the UFC 167 St-Pierre versus Hendricks version of Cody's predictions. This will be the UFC's 20th anniversary card. So, yep, let's get it going. Don't forget to comment below your predictions for who you think's gonna win the main card, and if you put your predictions down below in the comment section, as you heard in my other video, you'll be entered in a contest to win a free John Bones Jones Not Quite Human t-shirt. Alright, here we go. But first up on the card, we have Tim Elliott versus Ali Bagotinov. So, the logical thing to do would be to pick Tim Elliott, right? I mean, he's in a top 10. I don't think he's lost in the UFC. Maybe he has, but I don't think he has. So, that would make sense, right? But Ali Bagotinov only has 2 losses. Oh, Tim Elliott has lost in the UFC once to John Dodson by decision. Sorry about that. But anyways, Ali Bagotinov, he's only had 1 fight in the UFC, which he looked alright in. But the thing is, the guy only has 2 losses. They were way earlier in his career. They were both by decisions, 1 split. And you can never ever count those Russians out, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and he trains with Jackson's MMA, and we know what happens when you take a Russian out of Jackson's MMA and put him in a cage. They find a way to win. So instead of choosing the top 10 guy, I'm going to go with my gut feeling, and I'm going to go with Ali Bagotinov on this one. Next up, we have Josh Koscheck, the veteran, versus Tyron Woodley. I still consider Tyron Woodley undefeated in the UFC. Technically he's not, but I believe he is. I believe that he actually won that fight against Jake Shields in June. But apparently the judges didn't, so what are you going to do? So, Josh Koscheck's been around the game a long time, but he's on a 2-fight losing streak right now. And Tyron Woodley's still looking really good. Like, he knocked out Jay Heron in less than a minute. Who else did he knock out? He knocked out someone really. Oh no! He 2 years ago he beat Tarek Saffiedine, back when he was in Strikeforce. The guy only has 2 losses in his whole career, and like I said, the one against Jake Shields, I didn't even think was an actual loss. So once again, I'm gonna go with the guy that some people would say I probably shouldn't go with, and I'm gonna pick Tyron Woodley on this one. I don't know if he's a favorite or not. He might be, but I think Tyron Woodley's going to pull the win off on this one. Next up, we have Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler is a great fighter, and he's just an animal, and he always finds a way to get it done. He knocked out Josh Koscheck. He knocked out, who did he knock out in Seattle? I think it was Bobby Voelker. I was going to say Bobby Green. Good thing I didn't. No, it was Bobby Voelker. Yeah, he knocked Bobby Voelker with a head kick in Seattle back in July. And he's a great fighter, but I'm not counting Rory McDonald out at all. Rory McDonald has only lost once in his career, and that was to Carlos Condit, which was a very close fight up until Condit came back in the last round. Rory McDonald's a killer, and he's actually one of my favorite fighters, and I think he'll bring this fight, and he'll get it done like he always does. I could definitely see Rory being a future champ someday. And next up, we have Rashad Evans versus Chael Sonnen. That's going to be a great fight. You have 2 great guys fighting each other. Originally, because I still had a picture of Chael on my mind, submitting Shogun Rua in the first round back in August. So I'm like, oh yeah, Chael's going to win this, right? But then I started thinking more, and I'm like, man, Rashad's only lost 3 times. 2 of those have been by decisions. One of which was to the best fighter pound for pound on the planet. So Rashad's a man. Like he's a cool guy, and which has nothing to do with him winning a fight. But like he's just a cool fighter, man. I think he'll go in there and he'll give Chael Sonnen a hard time. And Rashad Evans does not go out easily. Chael Sonnen even said. Chael Sonnen called up Dan Henderson, and he asked Dan Henderson, because Dan Henderson fought Rashad, he said, Do you think, what's the chances that you think I have beaten Rashad? And Dan said, maybe. I don't know, I'm kind of digressing here a bit. But the point is, Dan Henderson, who always tells Chael that he has a good chance against people, told Chael that he might have a chance against Rashad. I don't know. Check out the Q&A with Chael Sonnen in Manchester. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so I think Rashad's just tenacity to win and get all his fights done will help him pull off the W next Saturday night. The main event of the evening, we have George St-Pierre versus Johnny Hendricks. Now, this one was an extremely hard one for me to pick. I mean, come on, we have George St-Pierre here. Like, you'd be crazy not to pick the guy. But we have Johnny Hendricks here. Like, come on, man, Johnny Hendricks. Like, he has a great left hand, but there's way more to Johnny Hendricks than just the left hand. The guy's an animal. If you haven't seen the Primetime specials yet, I highly encourage you to watch the UFC Primetime specials. You'll just realize how intense Johnny Hendricks is. He takes everything so seriously. Like, the guy is an amazing wrestler, NCAA Division I champion. Like I said, he has that left hand. His conditioning training is crazy. Like I said, watch that Primetime, you'll see it. He just trains every aspect of his game. You don't see it, every aspect of his game, but the guy has kicks, he has knees, he has jiu-jitsu, he has it all. George St-Pierre might try to take him down, but Johnny Hendricks might stuff him. You know what I mean? I think Johnny Hendricks will be George's toughest test to date yet. But, once again, like I did with the flyweight fight earlier, I'm going to go with my gut feeling, and I'm going to pick George on this one. Why? Because George, I've heard this story so many times before, and I think that George is going to do what he always does, and he's going to find a way to win. It might be a decision, it probably will, but I think George will find a way to win, and he'll get that W. George is like an elastic band. He just always finds a way. Like, he's very flexible. He'll find a way to win. That was a really weird analogy there. It's my hand moving and stuff. But there's not much logic behind it. But if I pick Johnny's, it wouldn't be easier. But I'm going to go with the champ, and I'm going to pick George. I might regret it when the left hand comes swinging, but for now, I'm going to stick with George. So we have Ali Baratinov, Tyrone Woodley, Rory McDonald, Sugar Rashad Evans, and George Rush St-Pierre. Do not miss UFC 167, 7 in the West, 10 in the East, and only on pay-per-view.